Melania Trump, 10 Things You Might Not Know About Donald's Third Wife. 1. Melania is Donald's third wife. The former Melania now started dating Donald Trump in 1998, married him in 2005, and gave birth to their son, Barron. Before Melania, Donald was married for a few years in the 1990s to Marla Maples, a television personality, former beauty queen, and mother to their daughter Tiffany Trump. The couple met while the businessman was still with his first wife, Czechoslovakian Ivana Zelníková, who he had married in 1977. They have 3 children: Ivanka, Eric, and eldest child Donald Trump Jr., who, at 38, is 8 years younger than his stepmother Melania. Ivana and Donald were leading socialites in New York during the 1980s, but their marriage ended with a very public divorce in 1992. Absolutely Fabulous star Jennifer Saunders says some of the inspiration for the show's fashionista Patsy Stone, played by Joanna Lumley, came from Ivana, who often sports a high blonde beehive. 2. She refused to give Trump her number. The billionaire asked Melania for her number at a party in New York in 1998, and she said no. Melania, then 28, was there at the invitation of Paolo Zampalli, the Italian businessman, who set her up as a model in the U.S. The property tycoon future husband Donald, then a notorious playboy, had arrived with another woman, but he sent her to the bathroom so he could chat up the model. However, Melania knew his reputation, so when he asked for her number she refused and instead asked him for his details, she told GQ magazine. "If I give him my number, I'm just one of the women he calls." She waited to see if he would give her a personal or a business number to assess what his intentions might be. "It tells you a lot from the men what kind of number he gives you," she said. Trump, it seems, was serious, giving her all of his numbers, she revealed. 3. Hillary Clinton went to her wedding. Bill and Hillary Clinton were among the 350 guests when Melania and Donald tied the knot at the groom's landmark Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. According to GQ, the bride wore a $100,000 Dior dress with 1,500 crystals, which took a legendary 550 hours to make. It had a 13-FT train, and the bride wore a 16-FT veil. However, the gown was so difficult to walk in that Melania changed into a Vera Wang hand-ruched silk tulle Grecian dress for the poolside after-party. Her 12-carat emerald-cut Graf wedding ring is said to be worth $1.5 million. 4. She grew up in communist Yugoslavia and speaks 5 languages: Slovene, English, French, Serbian, and German. If you want to know, that linguistic prowess could come in handy at White House functions, but it has been suggested her thick accent is the reason she makes few public speeches alongside her immigrant-bashing husband. Melania was raised away from the glamour of New York high society in a concrete tower block in then Yugoslavia during the rule of Marshal Josip Tito. Now that her husband has become president, Melania is the first lady to be born in a communist nation, and only the second to be born abroad, after Louisa Adams, the English wife of 6th President John Quincy, who served from 1825 to 1829. 5. Her native Slovenia wants to help the U.S.'s relationship with Russia. Melania's home country appears to believe her rise to the White House could be an opportunity to increase its own standing in the world. Tiny Slovenia, with its population of 2 million, has positioned itself as a possible mediator between the U.S. and Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin, who rarely makes trips to Western states, has visited Slovenia twice, and the two nations have a comfortable relationship with one another. Prime Minister Miro Cerar told the Associated Press last year, if the United States and Russia give some initiative in this way, Slovenia could become a bridge between the two powers. 6. She has a secret half-brother. While preparing a profile of the First Lady for GQ, reporter Julia Bioff made a startling discovery. Melania's father, Victor Neves, who the former model describes as traditional and hard-working, fathered a secret son. Before marrying Melania's mother, Neves agreed to pay child support after a court battle proved he was Denis Seljenjak's father, a claim he initially contested. However, he has never contacted his son, nor acknowledged his existence. Now aged 50, Seljenjak still lives in the family's native Slovenia. 7. She is the only First Lady to have posed nude. 3 years before she met Donald Trump, Melania posed nude alongside for a French men's monthly magazine. The bombshell photo set, obtained by the New York Post, shows her lying naked in a bed alongside Scandinavian model Emma Eriksson. Photographer Jarl de Basseville, who took the pictures, says the images are beauty and not porn, adding, "I always loved women together because I have been with a lot of women who desired the Melania Troys." 8. She is the least popular presidential spouse since Hillary. According to a Washington Post ABC News poll, Melania is the least popular presidential spouse since Hillary Clinton. A survey on the spouses and running mates of both presidential candidates in last year's election saw Clinton's husband, former President Bill, named most popular, with more than half of respondents having a positive opinion of him. Clinton's vice presidential pick, Tim Kaine, was next with a net favorability rating, those viewing him positively minus those viewing him negatively, of +19. Republican Mike Pence came in third with +17, and Melania languished in last place, getting a net favorability rating of just +1. 9. She supports her husband's hardline stance on immigration, although it's not surprising for a candidate's wife to back her husband's policies. Some were taken aback by Melania's enthusiasm for the Republicans' tough rhetoric on migrants, having immigrated to the U.S. herself. "I follow the law," she told an MSNBC interviewer. "I never thought to stay here without papers." 10. But she does wish Donald would act more presidential. During a rally in Arizona, Donald told the crowd both his wife and his eldest daughter, Ivanka, don't entirely approve of his behavior. "My wife and my daughter said to me, 'Act presidential, act presidential,'" he said. Melania insists she isn't shy when it comes to giving her husband political advice. "I give him my opinions many times," she told CNN. "I don't agree with everything that he says, but, that is normal," she added. "I'm my own person. I tell him what I think. I'm standing very strong on the ground on my 2 feet and I'm my own person. And I think that's very important in the relationship."